All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we are going to talk about, or more about, the 18 game season that the NFL is definitely moving towards. So I just wanted to talk about some things, some quotes from the Players Association. So this is from NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howell. He shared his comments with the Washington Post on Monday, and this is courtesy of an article on Fox Sports. We have talked at a very, very, very high level, superficially, with the recognition about, this is something that we should be talking about, and we should really kick the tires and understand what else goes into that decision-making process. He also said, where does the 18th game come from? I think the foregone conclusion is, well, you just grab it like in what would otherwise be preseason games in August, you play it forward. But these are details that really need to be fleshed out. But again, there are other economic, health, and safety matters that also need to be clear to our members before there's ever an agreement about an 18th game. And Roger Goodell, had comments on it as well earlier, which I've gone over. He's talking about, less preseason games and more regular season games. He said, we think that's a good trade. Less preseason games and more regular season games. Most everybody would think that's beneficial. Yeah, but, some players probably aren't too thrilled about it. But anyways, back to more comments. So this is more comments from Howell. The simple fact of the matter is when you have a growing enterprise and there are opportunities within that intervening period of time where progress can be made and you could tweak the existing CBA legal document, why wouldn't you want to do that? So whether it's field surface, whether it's the offseason schedule, if you want to call that formal, I call it bargaining. I call it amendments. I call it updates to what is now a living document called the CBA. Yet I want to be able to have our membership in position to jump on it when we can, not wait until their playing days are done and it's like you go through the cycle all over again. So a lot to say there. There's a lot that goes into this. And, guys or owners like Jerry Jones, they support an 18th game, while John Mara of the Giants has some reservations. Now, actually, quick thing on the Giants. So I know that the newest Hard Knocks episode came out yesterday. So because of the things that has happened, the things I wanted to cover today with the restructured deals and CeeDee Lamb holding out and Brandon Ayuk reporting to training camp, the rankings, we're going to talk about that episode tomorrow. So that I know I said I was going to talk about it today, but other things came up that I wanted to discuss over that, so we'll get into it tomorrow. And we got a comment in the chat from that one kid, and that one kid says Dallas is cooked. And I talked about Dallas a little bit earlier in the show. Now, I'm not going to say they're cooked, but there are some concerns that people have with the team, like the lack of depth, like I said. And CeeDee Lamb holding out, you don't want to see that, but a deal is going to get done at some point. So the current collective bargaining agreement, which expires in 2030, does not allow the NFL to add an 18th game without the Players Association, I can't pronounce association approval. And I said it wrong again. The CBA agreed upon in 2020 allowed the NFL to extend the season to 17 games, which was exercised starting in 2021. It's going to happen. An 18th game is going to happen. Now, I've kind of, you have ways that you could, work things out with that, like adding another bye week. Like, I think you're going to have to do that. And I know when I said, you can have the Pro Bowl in the middle of the season, and you have everybody else have a bye week. Well, that kind of just like defeats the purpose of adding another game. Speedy99 says, "I'm going to Phantom tax you." All right, so we got some brain rot in the chat here, so that's nice. I like the profile picture. He's got a Lightning McQueen profile picture. We got some brain rot comments in the chat, so that's nice. That's nice. But anyways, another bye week. Now, we've had discussions about this in our production meeting. And 3 bye weeks have come up. That you divide up the season into 3 parts. So that's an interesting take as well. but yeah, there's going to be more bye weeks added, you would think, because I mean, again, the wear and tear that this game, gives you. I mean, you gotta give these players some more off days, because it's just. And on top of that, you got how the schedule is structured this year, where you got a team playing on Saturday and they're gonna be playing on a Wednesday. It's just it's whatever. But yeah, it's a matter of when, not if. Again, when it comes to an 18 game season, they're gonna agree upon it. Players, hey, if you get an extra game check, they'll take that as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But the big positive for fans is it's going to move the Super Bowl to President's Day weekend, and most people are going to have off that day. I probably won't, and I've said that a few times on the show. But it's good for my parents. It's good for my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents. Good for them. They could get to watch the Super Bowl and you have off the next day. But for me, I don't think that off day is going to happen. So wish this would have happened when I was still in school, but that's just me. But yeah, this is something that's going to continue to be discussed. And look, any way the NFL can make more money, they're going to jump at the opportunity. And it's not going to stop at 18 games. It's going to go beyond that. There's going to be more games. And you might just see the preseason cut out entirely at some point. But I do, listen, I'm going to be watching the preseason because we need, you kind of need look, I don't watch it, but I'm going to, just because, you want to see some of these, some of these players and how they're going to do, and it gives you something to talk about. But, yeah, it's not that exciting. It's not really that exciting, because, you just want to get to the real thing. You just want to get to the real thing. And, it's, it is what it is, look, I'm excited just to have football back. I just want to have football back because, it's been such a long off season, and, I want to get to talking about some other things, but, yeah, it's, we still got a week, and then we'll have the Hall of Fame game, which will be nice to have that back. Just to have football back. But yeah, I mean, guys use the preseason to try to make the roster. The final spots on the roster, and you cut that out. That's doing them a disservice. That gives them less of an opportunity to try to showcase their talent. So I do get that from that perspective, because we could sit here and be like, "Well, this is great. We don't have to watch the preseason," but that kind of hurts guys that are trying to. My microphone falls over. That hurts guys that are trying to make the team. So, that's really my opinion. It's good because, yeah, we'll get more regular season games, but the impact on the players, and it's going to lead to more injuries, even though they say it won't. But yeah, that's just my take on it. So, but let me know what you guys think though about the 18 game schedule. How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments. Again, this is something that's going to continue to be discussed, for for a while. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, because like I said, they're going to continue to have those discussions, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. But Yeah, I that's really all I got when talking about this. I know it's. I mean, there's not. I mean, again, it's just me being repetitive with it. I mean, you got the players that some players aren't in favor of it. You got um, of course the NFL wants it to make more money. So, and that one kid says 18 game schedule is something I knew they were going to start talking about sooner or later. Yeah, and then it's going to probably go beyond that too. It's probably going to go beyond that. They're going to probably extend it to like 20 games at some point, but that's further down the line. And I know you were talking about the other individual in the chat. I think we handled that issue because he was just sending a bunch of random stuff, and I was trying to figure out what to do about it. But the issue was resolved, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Like I said, he was saying, as the kids say, brain rot. Well, not really the kids, but basically anybody that's on TikTok says brain rot. He basically was sending a lot of brain rot in the chat, so that was going on. But we were able to solve the issue. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the 18 game schedule. Let me know what you guys think about it. We're going to take our final break of the show now. When we come back, we'll talk about Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. We'll talk about their relationship. I'll get into that, and that is how we will end off the show for today. So for one final time today, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.